Hello guys, once again I'm back with another video on writing your risk factors, that is essay writing part 3, writing your risk factors as well as your IEC. Now we want to see how are these two related. Okay, so as always, we know our IEC as well as the risk factors when it comes to essay writing. It's mostly 15 marks out of 100, which is 15%. Okay, so you might be asked to say state 5 risk factors or 5 contributing factors to malaria, for example, and then that is maybe your part B. Then your part D, in your essay writing out of 100, you can ask you to say state 5 information, education, communication points, that is IEC points that you're going to give to the community on prevention of malaria. Okay, 15%. So what are you going to say to the community to prevent malaria? Okay, again, to get 15%, what are you supposed to write in your risk factors or your IEC? Same thing, you mention the type of risk factor, then you give a brief description of the reasons why this risk factor can cause this particular condition. Okay, we'll also look at the risk factor, the preventive factors later on. So some of the examples: state 5 risk factors of malaria infection. So what will cause malaria infection? Now I want you to see a certain pattern, how we are going to write our risk factors and how these risk factors will help us to come up with the preventive measures. Okay, you don't even have to struggle. As long as you know the risk factors, you know the predisposing factors, then you will know the preventive measures in whatever course, whether it's pediatrics, whether it is medicine, whether it is surgery, whether it is IRH, you can still use the same. Okay, so 1, not using insecticide treated mosquito nets. So this you have mentioned. Then you need to give a brief description to get your 3 marks out of 15. Remember, each point out of 15 is worth 3 marks. Okay, so inconsistent and incorrect use of ITNs, that is insecticide treated nets, mosquito nets, can cause one to have malaria through increased mosquito bites. So if you are inconsistent in your use of the mosquito net as well as the incorrect use, okay, of the mosquito net, your chances of having malaria will increase. So that is a risk factor, and I hope we know what risk factors are, or contributing factors. These are just situations where someone is put in a susceptible position to have a certain disease or condition. So what things are going to put someone in a susceptibility kind of situation where you are at risk, you have the ability to get the condition because of this situation. So those are risk factors. Okay, so environmental modification measures. This may involve not burying potholes that hold water, thereby increasing mosquito breeding in them. This can increase the mosquitoes and thereby increasing the incidence of malaria. Then not having intermittent presumptive treatment. So this may cause malaria in pregnancy if pregnant women are not given Fansidar in second trimester. Okay, even if they don't have malaria, you can give this Fansidar to try and prevent malaria. So if they're not given that for prophylaxis, they may have malaria their own. They're not using insecticide and mosquito repellent. Okay, so this will increase also the chances of mosquito bites, thereby increasing malaria cases. They're not wearing long clothes. We know that at least you should be able to wear long clothes if you're working at night, for example. Even during the day, you have mosquitoes which can still bite you during the day. So this will increase the chances of mosquito bites and increase the chances of acquiring malaria. Not closing windows early. This also increases the amount or the number of mosquitoes entering your house, thereby increasing the chances of being bitten, and malaria cases will increase. Not allowing chemical control programs like indoor spraying or outdoor spraying. This, if not done, will cause mosquitoes and their larvae not to be destroyed, thereby increasing malaria cases over a period of time. Okay, so these are some of the risk factors to malaria infection. I want you to see what is different in relation to the preventive measures. Look at the headings. Heading number 1, use of insecticide treated mosquito nets. What was our heading number 1 on risk factor? It was almost the same. Okay, now here you're just going to say consistent and correct use of ITNs can help prevent malaria. Environmental modification, it was also heading number 2 in our risk factors. Here you are just going to say the opposite. Involves barring of any potholes that hold water to prevent mosquito breeding, thereby reducing mosquitoes and the incidence of malaria. Okay, you've seen how easy it is to come up with your IEC points on prevention if you know your predisposing or risk factors. Okay, so intermittent presumptive treatment, this also is given. Fancida is given in pregnant women to prevent malaria in second trimester. Use of insecticide and mosquito repellent, this will prevent mosquito bites, preventing malaria. Then wearing long clothes, closing windows early, same thing. Then allowing chemical control programs, indoor spraying, this will also allow killing of mosquitoes and their larvae over a period of time, thereby preventing malaria. Okay, now if we know our risk factors, are we able to come up with preventive measures? There's a task there. Risk factors to hypertension. Pregnancy. We know that pregnancy increases blood volume for the mother and the baby because of the increased demand. So this will in turn increase or cause hypertension. Obesity, because of fat increase. Okay, this will cause fat deposition in blood vessels as well as around the kidneys, thereby increasing the pressure both in blood vessels and in the kidneys. This will cause your blood pressure to rise. Smoking. Smoking contains nicotine. Nicotine constricts blood vessels, thereby increasing your blood volume, causing hypertension. Dietary factors, for example, intake of salt. If you take about 5 milligrams or 6 milligrams of salt or more per day, this will cause your blood vessels or your body to retain water, thereby increasing the blood volume. Okay, so other risk factors to hypertension, you have stress. Okay, now stress, if you're stressful, mostly what happens is if you're in a stressful situation, you have hormones like adrenaline which are produced by the adrenals. Now this causes an increase in blood pressure. Okay, your heart starts pumping fast, thereby increasing the blood volume to whatever structures in the body. This in turn causes increase in your blood pressure. Okay, if you have kidney diseases, for example, okay, any disease in the kidneys, this will cause or prevent it may cause obstruction of blood volume to the kidneys. It may also reduce the glomerular filtration rate. Now if the glomerular filtration rate is reduced, you find that renin will start being produced by the kidneys, thereby kickstarting the renin-angiotensin-aldosterone system, and this, we know what happens, it will cause your blood pressure to rise. Okay, I'm going to leave that as a challenge. Okay, if there are any questions, please leave the questions in the comment section. Please like, subscribe and share. I hope this has been helpful. Thank you for listening and thank you for your attention.